You're about to see a move so beautiful that it looks like a blunder at first sight, but it's a brilliancy in disguise. Alireza Firouzja played it, one of the top blitz players in the world, and against Vincent Keimer. He's like top 5 in the world now himself. Incredible talent from Germany. Let's check it out. They're in Croatia. It's the Superbet Rapid and Blitz. This is rapid chess. We've got Vincent with white, building the banana hammock, tucking in the bishop. This is one of his favourite setups. Keep Peter Lecco proud. Get the king safe on move 4 here. And Alireza goes on his own for another fianchetto system on the other side of the board. Vincent now strikes with the explosive c4. Alireza tucks in to challenge the diagonal. Pawn takes here. Knight recaptures. And we get a check flicked in. As mere mortals, we like to get our bits out, but these top guys bring the queen out early sometimes. Don't try this at home. Knight blocks, and another piece. Moved twice in the opening. Usually a boo-boo here, but it puts pressure on the knight. It stops black from castling. Bishop f6 is played. Double whammies this one, so you have to respond, and this was the move. What white's saying is, please take my knight off the board. Not only will I pick up the bishop pair, but look at your light squares. Very weak, tons of pressure. This guy's a monster. Alireza doesn't want that. So, Queen c8 was selected. Sidesteps this attack here, but you have to live with this absolute octopus. How's black going to unravel here? d4 was now played by Vincent. An a6 on the board. Looking for b5. Break the connection, then win the piece. Vincent says do your worst. He takes the centre of the board. Does Alireza move the knight? No. He lashes out with the b-pawn. The lady backs up, so she stays here with the knight. It's not being blundered. This one's now got to move, and that's why Alireza backs up. And what's absolutely amazing is that this is move 13. From here, Alireza goes on to win in just 13 moves, crushing the white king. How does he do this? Sorcery. Let's dive in here. White's got the centre. Hang on, isn't this bishop trapped? Can't we go pawn e5? That's exactly what is played, and it's one of the top moves. The bishop, of course, has no squares. So this is why Alireza now takes here on c6. First with the bishop. I believe it was more precise than the knight. But ultimately, he wants takes, which was played in the game. Takes with the knight here. And then after queen takes knight, not played. We're in the back cave. Analysis mode. You can back up with this bishop. The line goes something like this, and because that c7 pawn is so terminally weak, you can actually just win it. White's got a great game. Black gets a bit of counterplay with an amazing knight on d5, defending the bishop for the time being. Game rumbles on. White clearly better, a pawn up though. Let's back up. Vincent did not take the seahorse. He took the bishop on f6. And this is a mistake, not just in the analytical, all-seeing engine terms, but even in human, practical terms. When you do this, you allow this, and it is fireworks on the board. Alireza thrives in these circumstances. He's hitting the queen, but he's allowing pawn takes on g7, which Vincent duly plays. Already now 4 minutes down on the clock. Now you can't take the queen. Then we get takes here with a check as well. New queen born. That's not the way to go. So rook g8 was played. But you now have to reckon with this move. Queen takes on h7. Actually not the most precise as you can see. Some kind of centralization was actually stronger. But this is the game. Looks so natural in a fast time control. And with the rook now attacked, you've basically got two options, right? You know, you can't move it to take the pawn or go here or here. So you either defend it with knight f6 or slide the king up. Let's explore this one. You cover. You hit the queen. She backs off here. Well, in this position, because the knight was attacked, white actually starts getting the bits out. Black brings the queen, and on the game goes here. White's unravelling, get the forces into play, doing quite well. Let's back it up. What if king e7? Well, this one's atrocious. Queen h4 check, and after the block, you pick up an entire knight. So, if you can't play either of these moves very well, knight f6 being the best, what are you doing? Here comes the brilliancy that looks like a blunder. Queen b7. Very well done if that one occurred to you. The point is, if white takes the free rook and with check makes this all the sweeter, king e7, you now don't have a good move to fight against both threats. One threat being the rook is attacking your queen. The other threat being not knight f3 check, which looks promising, but knight e2 check and mate. The king wouldn't be able to move, right? Absolute scenes here. Unbelievable. Got my words mixed up there. And that's why black's just completely winning the game if you take this rook. There's nothing. So let's back it up here. We didn't see queen takes rook. Rook d1 was strongest to hit the knight and give the king a square on f1. But that looks super scary. This was played instead. Very understandable. Cutting the queen's influence. But now we get the 0-0-0 from Ali Reza. Connects those rooks. And look at what a party he's now having. Knight d2 defends this f-pawn a second time. But here we go. f5 played. Not yet rushing in with knight e5. This one cuts the queen's connection on the light squares. Whoops. Also has a look at pawn f4. So queen h6 played. Covers f4. Hints at takes on e6 if this guy ever moves. Reactivates the lady. Knight e5 now played. That's 1, 2, 3 attackers. Only 2 defenders. And it's why Vincent slides meekly back here. Covers the f-pawn. Hits a loose knight. But he's completely on the defensive now. You know, rook takes is coming soon. Imagine a double up. Imagine the pressure here. Imagine if you could achieve f4. And there's these knight c2 ideas in the air. Not so good to play straight away though. Because then you allow queen takes here. There's pressure on here and you can take with check. So this whole excursion just isn't the one. That's why the queen centralizes. A black widow over there. Rook b1 is now played, but boy is this slow. I mean, you're getting murdered over here and you take a time out for a cup of tea and a scone. Not ideal. You really had to be going, say, king g2. It's still lost, of course, but do some defensive work. This was the move selected by Vincent. Super low on time now. About 11 minutes down on the clock, right? Wildness. And knight c2 is not the best in this position. There's much stronger. And it starts with rook takes on g7. You're now lined up with the king. It's horrible. And Vincent, with all the time in the world, like he doesn't even care, plays pawn b4 before you can say, show us your catwalk. There's Ali Reza strutting his stuff. He's the king of fashion. I mean, how on earth have you got time for rook b1, pawn b4 when your entire house is collapsing? I guess knight b3 is now wanted or something, and if exchange you can bring the rook in. Not sure. Way too slow. Ali Reza now proves it. What's the most incisive win here? Pawn f4. And you're in a world of pain. The move you want to play is queen takes, but you can't do that. This comes. You can't get out the forking way. You lose the game. Let's back it up. We saw queen e4 instead, but we didn't see any exchange here. Takes on g3. No time to take here, or black's going to flick in the double check and then recapture the queen. So this was played. Rook takes on g3 check, smashing through, and here on move 26, 30 seconds on the clock to Ali Reza's 9 minutes. We see resigns from Vincent Keimer. Absolute pile drive there from Ali Reza. What a crush it was. Hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks as always for watching, and have a look at the video on screen if you want to see some more epic chess. Cheers.